to both help anybody who wasn't here for the demonstration for the assembly block, as well as to help anybody who is struggling with trying to get their 3 blocks assembled. I'm going to do a quick video. So when I come into SOLIDWORKS, I'll go ahead and start an assembly. Once the assembly loads, if I have no parts open, it's going to actually jump right in to asking me to look for a component to insert. And since I don't have anything open, it's going to go ahead and open up my folder for me. So I'm going to go into my folder, go to where I save stuff, go to my assembly block folder, and pick the assembly block part. As I open this and bring it in, it's going to be floating anywhere I want to, so I can click to set it down. Now I'll zoom out a little bit. Right now this block is fixed in place, which you can see by the little F next to it, showing that it is attached or oriented to the origin based on where I set it down, which is exactly what I want. To bring more blocks in to assemble, I'm going to go ahead and hit Insert Component, pick the assembly block again, and bring in another copy. Now in recent versions, they've also added something kind of cool, because I'm going to actually assemble 3 blocks. This last one is going to be the one that I turn upside down. Now if I want to, I can actually rotate this by 90 degrees along the X, Y, and Z. I can flip it twice along the X-axis and actually turn it around the way I want it. This might help some of you who don't necessarily like the alignment tools. So I'm going to go ahead and flip that in and put this down, because that should help people. Now as you can see, it will let me put it in where it's kind of merged with other things. Because right now SOLIDWORKS doesn't understand, or doesn't prevent you from having 2 things occupy the same space. So they will move freely outside of each other. But one of the things I want to point out is while the original one I put in is fixed and cannot be moved, the others I can move around, which is helpful because you might need to move them in order to apply the different mates that you need. Because what we're going to do is line the pegs up with the holes, I'm going to start out by applying those mates. So when I activate mate, I'm going to click this peg, which goes into this hole, and go ahead and accept that. Next one I'm going to do is this peg and this hole, and make sure I'm getting concentric. If you accidentally pick 2 round surfaces, it won't actually do that. Now what's going on now is I can still move this vertically, it won't let me rotate it, and it won't let me move it away from those 2 having those concentric mates, even if I zoomed way out and moved it around. So my last mate is going to be this face and this face coincident so that they're touching. Okay, now this one that was fixed can't move because it's fixed, and this one can't move because it will say it is fully defined, meaning it is locked in place. That is what I want. I'm going to do the same thing on the other one. Peg to hole, which, because I didn't stop and show this earlier, means that now this is basically pivoting, but that center is always doing it. I can move it in and out, and I can rotate it around there, but it won't break that relationship between the center of the peg and the center of the hole. To kind of prevent it from rotating, now I have to do this peg to this hole. It lines those up concentric, and we accept it. I can't rotate this, but I can move it in and out of that relationship. So again, I'm going to pick one of these surfaces that would be touching, as well as this surface that would be touching, and accept those. This now shows that my assembly is fully defined, meaning there's no parts in here that can't move around. When I save this, so I can get all the way out of mates, and when I save this into my assembly block folder, I'm going to need to name it assembly block. I'm going to throw an S on the end because it is the assembly blocks. Because it's a different file type, which is an assembly, it won't save over my other assembly block, which is also why I can't see it. So if you think you're in the wrong place, verify the folder name, and that'll help you. I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and that saves this assembly in there. Now, one of the things that I should have done at the beginning, was make sure that my units match. I'm going to do that now and save my changes. I would have noticed that before because one of the mate types that you have is what's called a distance mate. Now you'll see it showing in inches, whereas if you look in the same window earlier, it would have been showing in millimeters because that's what my document was set at. That really should match whatever you're doing, but in this case it was less critical than it would be in the part creation as well as the drawing, which was what we'll do coming soon.